It's February, a month that will see the clash of two heavyweights, Daniel Dubois and Joseph Parker, in a fight that could shake the very foundations of the boxing world. But even before they step into the ring, the drama has already begun to unfold in the most unexpected way. What was supposed to be their moment to shine, to focus all eyes on their bout, quickly became overshadowed by a larger-than-life figure, none other than Tyson Fury. Yes, you heard that right. Fury, the once retired, now again retired giant of the sport, has stolen the spotlight yet again. This past Monday, the boxing world was left in shock when Tyson Fury announced his second retirement from the sport. This announcement didn't just hit the headlines, it sent shockwaves through the entire heavyweight division. And, as fate would have it, Daniel Dubois and Joseph Parker found themselves at the center of an event that quickly turned into the Tyson Fury show during their own news conference. It should have been their time to hype up what's shaping up to be one of the most anticipated cards in recent memory. Dubois, the reigning IBF heavyweight champion, was set to defend his title against New Zealand's former world champion Parker, in a high-stakes bout scheduled for February 22 in Saudi Arabia. But with Fury's bombshell of a retirement, all eyes were turned away from the two fighters and focused on the looming presence of the Gypsy King's departure from the ring. The heavyweight pair, Dubois and Parker, did their best to maintain their composure, to keep the focus on their own upcoming clash. But despite their efforts, it was impossible to ignore the elephant in the room. Fury's shadow loomed large. The questions just kept coming. The reporters' pens were focused on one thing only: Fury. The constant barrage of questions about the fighter who had ruled the division for years now had Dubois and Parker fumbling to steer the conversation back to their own careers. Joseph Parker, 33, took the high road, attempting to be diplomatic in his response. He's known Fury personally and even sparred with him over the years, so when asked about the news, he didn't hesitate. If Tyson is ready to retire, then he should hang up his gloves and enjoy his life, Parker said, his words laced with respect. He's achieved everything he set out to do. He's content. But there's always that lingering doubt, isn't there? Fury's been here before. In April 2022, he announced his retirement after defeating Dillian Whyte, but we all know what happened next. 6 months later, he was back in the ring, smashing opponents and calling the shots once again. And this is something Dubois, 27, couldn't ignore. When speaking to BBC Sport, he voiced his skepticism, suggesting that we might not have seen the last of Fury. He might come back. You never know with Fury, Dubois said. Either way, he's a legend. But let's not get too lost in Fury's retirement. There's a whole other battle ahead, one that promises to bring its own kind of drama. And that's what Dubois and Parker tried to refocus the conversation on. The tension in the room was palpable as the two heavyweights sat across from each other, both determined to put the spotlight back where it belonged. But it wasn't easy. The reporters were relentless, pulling them back to Fury, a fighter they had no choice but to discuss despite their own high-stakes showdown just weeks away. Things began to shift, though, when the conversation turned to the heart of the matter: Dubois and Parker, one-on-one, battling for the IBF world title. Dubois had already made his intentions clear. He was ready to step up, to defend his title and move forward in his career. But Parker wasn't about to let him off easy. The tension between them was evident as they exchanged words, their body language reflecting the rising heat of the battle that was about to take place. Why did you call out Usyk after his win over Fury? Parker questioned, probing into Dubois' recent actions. There was no hiding it now. The heavyweight champ wanted answers, and Dubois was quick to respond. It's all about making noise. This is show business. That's what I want next, Dubois shot back, showing his determination to remain relevant in a division that was now dominated by questions about Fury's future. But first, I've got to get through this guy. And that's exactly what Dubois promised: no tricks, no distractions, just a demolition job on Parker. The words echoed in the room, creating a palpable sense of anticipation. This wasn't just about boxing for Dubois. It was about sending a statement, making sure the world knew that he wasn't just another name on the heavyweight list. It wasn't just talk either. Dubois had already proven his worth in the ring, having successfully defended his IBF title by taking down Anthony Joshua in a dominating 5-round victory at Wembley Stadium in September. The fight had been a statement of intent. And now, with Parker standing in front of him, Dubois was looking for another showcase of his skill, his power, and his ambition. Parker, who reigned as the WBO World Champion from 2016 to 2018, wasn't just going to roll over. With 38 fights under his belt, he's a seasoned veteran. Despite 3 losses on his record, Parker has revived his career, riding a 4-fight winning streak that includes impressive victories over fighters like Deontay Wilder and Zhilei Zhang. The man knows how to bounce back, and he wasn't about to let Dubois' words intimidate him. "I've been boxing for a while," Parker said, his confidence unwavering. "But honestly, I feel like I've only just started." His words were a warning to Dubois. This wasn't going to be an easy fight. And just as the tension reached its peak, Dubois, who has often been seen as more reserved in his approach to trash talk, couldn't resist a final jab. "I'll teach you a few things in there," he quipped with a smirk. "A few new skills." The room erupted in laughter, the awkwardness between the two heavyweights momentarily dissolving in humor. But don't be fooled, it was all part of the mind games, part of the psychological warfare that would ultimately play out in the ring. As the press conference concluded, both fighters made their way off the stage. But the question that still lingered in the air was one that neither of them could answer just yet: who would leave Saudi Arabia with the IBF heavyweight title in hand? The world would soon find out. But first, let's take a step back and acknowledge the real drama unfolding in the heavyweight division. With Tyson Fury's unexpected retirement dominating the headlines, it's easy to forget that there's a new wave of fighters coming through, ready to take the throne. Dubois and Parker are just the beginning of a new era in heavyweight boxing. As the landscape shifts and the spotlight moves from one legend to another, the question remains: who will emerge as the king of the division? The tension continues to rise, and with just weeks until the big fight, the anticipation surrounding the IBF heavyweight title clash between Daniel Dubois and Joseph Parker reaches a boiling point. Every word exchanged between the two heavyweights carries weight. And in this world where every move is scrutinized, every word amplified, the pressure is unmistakable. Yet, as much as both fighters talk a good game, the true drama lies in what will happen when the bell rings. We've seen it before: the trash talk, the bravado, the posturing. But this time, something feels different. The stakes are higher, the spotlight more intense. Daniel Dubois has become a figure with a purpose, a champion determined to solidify his legacy. The triumphs are becoming more frequent, but so are the challenges. His fight with Parker is more than just a title defense. It's his chance to prove to the world that he belongs in the upper echelons of the heavyweight division. After all, a man who's beaten Anthony Joshua can't be dismissed, right? But don't underestimate Joseph Parker, because if anyone knows what it takes to reclaim greatness, it's him. After years of navigating the highs and lows of a career, the New Zealand-born boxer has found a new fire. His resurgence, having won 4 straight fights, isn't just a testament to his skill, it's a symbol of his resilience. Each victory, each punch thrown, is a reminder of the man who once held the WBO world title. He knows the taste of gold, and now, he's hungrier than ever to reclaim it. But if there's one thing that Parker isn't overlooking, it's the shadow of Tyson Fury. Fury's exit, however fleeting, casts a long shadow. For all his retirement talk, there's a gnawing uncertainty that hangs in the air. Dubois and Parker both know that Fury's unpredictable nature has already shaped the division in ways they can't fully comprehend. And if the Gypsy King returns to boxing, well, that could completely shake up everything they've worked for. Both men, despite their own ambitions, have to consider that possibility. For now, though, it's the upcoming fight that will dominate their worlds. Parker knows that Dubois' skill and power are formidable, but he also knows something that few others do: the art of mental warfare. That's where the fight begins, not in the ring, but in the build-up, the strategy, the chess game that's being played outside of the ropes. And right now, Parker is determined to show that his experience, his ring intelligence, and his resilience are what will give him the edge when they finally meet. Dubois, on the other hand, is hungry for one thing: respect. He's been dismissed as a work in progress for much of his career, a raw talent with potential but lacking the polish of some of his more established counterparts. But after his dominating win over Anthony Joshua, there's a new sense of belief in his corner. With every punch thrown in that fight, Dubois sent a message not only to Joshua but to the entire heavyweight division: I'm here to stay. And this fight against Parker? It's another opportunity to solidify his place. Their dynamic is fascinating. Dubois, though known for his sometimes awkward demeanor, is a fighter who speaks with a quiet intensity. His trash talk is minimal, but his punches? They do all the talking. Parker, by contrast, thrives in the realm of conversation. He's a fighter who knows how to engage both mentally and physically. He's unpredictable, willing to use his sharp wit and ring savvy to throw off his opponents. As much as they're both professional athletes, there's an almost personal element to this fight. It's not just about titles, it's about proving something deeper, something that will echo through the division for years to come. But while Dubois and Parker are focused on their own battle, the boxing world is still reeling from Fury's sudden exit. It's a chaotic moment in an already unpredictable division. The narrative now is all about who will fill the void left by Fury's departure. And in the midst of this uncertainty, Dubois and Parker are stepping into the spotlight, each with his own agenda, his own strategy, his own hopes of taking control of the heavyweight division. As both fighters prepare for the fight of their lives, there's one question on everyone's lips: who will emerge victorious? Will it be the raw power and hunger of Daniel Dubois, a man determined to prove himself at the top? Or will it be the experience, the poise, and the fight IQ of Joseph Parker that ultimately carries the day? The stakes are higher than ever before, and the build-up to the clash of these two giants is nothing short of electric. There's no room for mistakes in the heavyweight division, especially now with Fury out of the picture, at least for now. Each fighter has a story to tell, a reason to fight. For Dubois, it's about establishing his name in the history books. For Parker, it's about redemption, about silencing the critics, and proving to the world that his best years are yet to come. And then, when they finally meet in the ring, it will be a moment of truth. A moment where words fade away, where the spotlight no longer shines on what was said in a press conference, but on the fists that will soon collide. In that ring, the only thing that will matter is who can withstand the pressure, who has the grit to weather the storm, and who can emerge as the new king of the heavyweight division. The countdown has begun, and there's no turning back now. But in a sport as volatile as boxing, anything can happen. And as these two men prepare for what could be the defining fight of their careers, the only certainty is that the world is watching. Every punch thrown will be scrutinized, every move analyzed. And when the final bell rings, one of them will emerge victorious, ready to take the next step in a division that's never been more open, more unpredictable, or more exciting. The story is unfolding in real time. The question now is, who will write the final chapter?